Hey everyone, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2023 GMC Sierra 3500, we're going to be checking out the Pullrite OEX Super 5th wheel hitch for trucks that have the OEM prep package. This 5th wheel hitch is going to work if you have a short bed truck like we do or a long bed, so either one, you'll be in good shape there. And the very first thing that I noticed when I took this out of the box was how lightweight it was. And that's not to say this is a feather by any means, it's still got some weight to it, but compared to some of the other hitches, it's significantly lighter. And put it this way, I was able to pick up the assembly by myself, put it in the truck bed, really without too much struggle. And that's not really the case with a lot of the other ones out there. We do a ton of these, usually need at least a couple people, if not more, to set these big hitches in the bed of the truck. So if you're someone who plans on putting this in and removing it quite frequently, this might be a pretty good option for you. One of the things that I do like about this is you're able to have some adjustment when it comes to the offset, meaning where the position of the head is going to be. So right now, since we're on a short bed truck, I have it offset more towards the rear of the truck. That way we'll get more cab clearance when we make those tight turns and everything. And let's say, for example, if you were to have a long bed, you could more than likely, how most people would probably use it, this little plate here, you take that off, there's one on the bottom too, you flip them around and that'll set this opening more towards the front. So you can kind of fine tune it there, and having this offset here I think is really important for these short bed trucks, because that could be the difference of making cab corner contact or things like that. So by not having any extra parts you really need to get, it's all kind of built into the hitch, I think is pretty convenient. If you're still concerned with having that clearance that you need and really don't want to have to get a sliding type hitch that physically slide the attachment point back whenever you need that clearance, or let's just say if you happen to have a rotating type pin box installed on your trailer already, they are going to be compatible, the vast majority of them out there. It's hard to speak for every single one, but a lot of the big name, big brand ones are going to be compatible with this. A lot of times though, you will have to get a wedge like this one here to put on the pin box. So you can always check with that particular manufacturer, make sure that these are going to line up, and the vast majority of the time they'll be able to inform you on what wedge you're going to need. So if you're unsure what that pin box, that rotating pin box is, if you still need additional clearance, as opposed to the hitch actually being able to slide back and move, the pin box on your trailer would swivel and rotate and essentially accomplish the same thing. The hitch is going to have a 25,000 pound maximum gross trailer weight rating. That's going to be the amount of weight pulling on it. So that's the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have in or on it. And it's going to have a 6,250 pound vertical load limit. So the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. With that in mind, it's always a good idea though, just to grab your truck's owner's manual and make sure it can handle that amount of weight safely. And as far as the head goes, it is going to articulate, so you'll get some from side to side and front to back, and that's just going to help with hooking up, make it a little bit easier. A lot of times you're now on perfectly level ground, so if your pin box is crooked a little bit or something, the hitch will compensate for that and allow you to hook up without really having to fight it a whole lot. That articulation in theory should help with chucking and stuff like that too. Whenever you're going down the road and you feel the trailer kind of pulling the hitch around. So there should be a little more forgiveness with this one. Whether or not it'll make for a quieter ride, overall, it's hard to say. It would be nice, I feel like, if they incorporated maybe some type of bushing or something in here to where it would kind of absorb some of that shock and vibration, but that's just my opinion there. And it is going to have what's called an auto locking jaw. Okay, so right now the hitch is ready to be coupled, and I have a little fake kingpin here to demonstrate. So whenever you back your truck up to the trailer, Actually got to back it up hard enough here. That jaw mechanism will automatically lock, and so you don't have to come out and see if you're lined up and whatnot and deal with trying to push the handle in and everything else. So you back up to it, that handle slams in place and locks the jaws. When you're ready to unhook, the handle design is pretty convenient, how it kind of comes up more towards the front and then runs alongside the truck bed here. That can give you the ability to be able to open that handle up without having to get inside of the truck bed and try to work around your trailer and everything else. There are other things you can do to this hitch as well. So for example, they have different attachments, right? If you were to remove this part of the hitch, they have a gooseneck setup that you could change it to if you wanted. So that's always an option. You can kind of grow into things. Honestly, if it were me and I was wanting to pull a gooseneck trailer, being that we have a factory prep package, I'd probably just get a goose ball kit, but that's just my thought there. But it is available, so that's pretty cool. And you can also adjust the height of your fifth wheel head here. So you can lower it down some, bring it up a little bit, kind of really try to dial it in for your particular setup. And right now I have it on the medium setting. And just by eyeballing this here, we're still quite a bit a ways underneath of our truck bed rails. And I want to address that because we get a lot of people asking if they can leave the hitch in and have a tonneau cover and be able to close up the tonneau cover. So for what I'm seeing right here, and just about all the scenarios, you really shouldn't run into too many issues there. It's hard to speak for every single tonneau cover out there, but just seeing what I see, I feel like you should be in pretty good shape. I do like the small footprint that this thing has, so even if you do leave it in your bed for a period of time, your bed isn't completely useless. You still have a little bit of space to kind of walk around it or put items in here, with this not being in the way too much, and even with a short bed like we have here, we still have quite a bit of clearance up to the front. Perfect example, pretty large toolbox here, the bulkhead of the bed, and there's still quite a bit of space between it and our hitch. So for those of you that have a toolbox or maybe some type of auxiliary fuel tank or something like that, you shouldn't really run into too many issues there as far as being able to fit both of them. Other than that, at the end of the day, not really a whole lot to this. It is built right here in USA, and from what I can see, everything looks like it's pretty high quality. The welds, the fitment, the hardware, so on and so forth. So if you're someone that is looking for a really lightweight fifth wheel hitch for your truck's factory prep package, this is definitely one to check out. But I think that'll about do it for our look at of the Pullrite OEX fifth wheel hitch on our 2023 GMC Sierra 3500.